Welcome to this explainer on Open WebUI. Today, we're taking a close look at exactly how developers, organizations, and IT professionals are taking back control of their AI stacks, securely and locally. Okay, let's dive right into this. We hear a ton about the massive, incredible power of artificial intelligence these days. But let's be honest, almost always, that power comes tethered to a giant cloud provider, which means you're dealing with a massive monthly bill and, frankly, some pretty serious data privacy concerns. So today, we're digging into the source documentation for a platform that absolutely flips that entire paradigm on its head.
So think about this for a second. What if your AI lived entirely offline? Imagine an AI ecosystem that operates completely independently of cloud APIs. It runs securely and privately on hardware that you actually own. There's zero data being sent to third-party servers, no sudden, unexpected updates to the model you rely on every day, and you have complete, 100% sovereignty over your information. That is the fundamental premise driving the project we're exploring today.
If you look at the official documentation, they state their mission right up front, literally positioning the platform as a foundational home for AI. This isn't just another simple, run-of-the-mill chat interface. They are building an entire infrastructure layer. The goal here is for this to be your central hub, the one place where you interact with, manage, and deploy all of your artificial intelligence tools.
Let's define exactly what this means based on their docs. Open WebUI is a flexible, provider-agnostic interface. That means it seamlessly supports both local frameworks, like Ollama, and external, OpenAI-compatible APIs. The crucial takeaway here is that it gives you a singular, unified workspace. You aren't locked into a single, expensive ecosystem anymore. You can run open-source models natively on your own GPU, or, you can just plug in a cloud API key if you want to. And you do it all from the exact same user-friendly environment.
In this explainer, we'll be covering 1. A home for your AI. 2. Getting started made simple. 3. Beyond basic chat interfaces. 4. Meet Open WebUI Computer. And 5. The expanding open ecosystem.
Let's start with Section 1, a home for your AI, which is provider-agnostic and completely offline.
We'll begin by unpacking the core architecture that makes this platform such a secure foundation for privacy-conscious users and organizations. Whether you're safeguarding proprietary corporate data using local models running through Ollama, or you're tapping into external cloud services via OpenAI-compatible APIs, this platform unifies those experiences. It never locks you into a single provider. And this flexibility, it's massively important for data privacy. Think about your highly sensitive data, stuff like unreleased source code, patient records, or internal financial spreadsheets. That data never has to leave your local network if you don't want it to, but you still get a polished, premium interface to interact with it.
Moving right along to Section 2, Getting Started Made Simple, Deploying Your Local AI Stack.
Now, you might expect a comprehensive platform like this to be a total headache to configure, but the documentation actually reveals it's surprisingly accessible. They've distilled the setup down to 4 really clear deployment paths. For production environments, they recommend Docker, which gives you a robust containerized deployment. If you're more into Python environments, you can just use pip, or the lightning-fast UV package manager. But honestly, the true standout feature here is the desktop option. You can completely forget about wrestling with Docker network configs for an hour. They offer a native desktop app that runs the platform directly on your system with absolutely no manual setup required. They've essentially removed all the friction, letting you choose anything from a simple click-and-run native app to a fully scalable enterprise container.
Let's transition over to Section 3, Beyond Basic Chat Interfaces, looking at the essential capabilities.
Once you have it running on your machine, it becomes immediately apparent from their Essentials guide that this is way more than just a simple text prompt box. The docs highlight 6 core capabilities that truly transform it into a highly capable, extensible local operating system. You get community plugins to easily extend functionality, native tool calling so your AI can actually go out and execute actions, and task model delegation. On top of that, it includes advanced context management and RAG, that's retrieval augmented generation, meaning you can feed it your own documents so it actually knows about your specific data. And then we hit the heavy hitter, open terminal integration. This brings us to some genuinely advanced capabilities.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 4, Meet Open WebUI Computer, the cutting-edge agent harness.
Okay, let's turn the dial all the way up and look at their cutting-edge runtime environment, the Open WebUI Computer. This brilliantly illustrates exactly where AI is heading right now. It's an agent harness that connects AI models, whether that's a local model you're running or a coding agent subscription you already pay for, like Claude Code or Codex, directly to your actual local files, your Git branches, and your terminal commands. And to make sure this doesn't just go entirely off the rails, it operates with strict built-in user approval mechanisms and a dedicated plan mode. It's fully local execution on your hardware, but, incredibly, you can access this assistant to command your machine from a web browser or even message it remotely from Telegram or WhatsApp.
The documentation highlights this really brilliant two-speed ecosystem design. It contrasts the stable, enterprise-ready core platform against this fast-moving, highly experimental computer harness. So Open WebUI is your foundation, right? It's stable, it's multi-user, and it's enterprise-ready. Teams can deploy it and rely on it day in and day out. But on the other hand, the Open WebUI computer is where the bleeding edge of real machine agent capabilities are built, tested, and hardened in daily use. Once those experimental features prove themselves out there, they naturally graduate into the stable platform.
Let's move on to Section 5 and see how this all builds out into the expanding open ecosystem, connecting your entire workflow.
This two-speed approach we just talked about feeds directly into a rapidly expanding open-source ecosystem designed to connect absolutely everything you do. Just look at these tools built by the Open WebUI team. You have Open Terminal, which provides a sandboxed action runtime for code execution. Then there's OiCub, which is just fascinating. It syncs your knowledge bases by actively watching your local folders, your GitHub repos, Amazon S3 buckets, and Confluence. It supports over 40 different sources, so your local AI always has your absolute latest data. I mean, imagine an AI that actually knows what your team wrote in Confluence this morning without you having to repeatedly copy and paste it. And finally, MCPO acts as a proxy to seamlessly integrate external tool servers without you having to write any custom glue code. It really shows just how deeply this entire ecosystem integrates into existing complex IT infrastructure. For organizations wanting to actually implement this ecosystem at scale, the documentation outlines a very clear enterprise pathway. They offer custom branding, service-level agreement support, and long-term support builds. This is directly targeted at organizations pursuing sovereign AI. Now, if you aren't familiar, sovereign AI is basically the concept that a company or even a nation should have complete independent control over its AI infrastructure and data without having to rely on external, potentially insecure cloud providers. Open WebUI is clearly positioning itself as the core user interface and management layer for that sovereign future.
And just look at the validation here. This drive toward local, private AI isn't just happening in isolation, and it definitely isn't just on the fringes of the tech world anymore. It is officially acknowledged and backed by some of the absolute most influential technology accelerators in the world. We're talking about the A16Z Open Source AI Grant for 2025, Mozilla Builders 2024, and the GitHub Accelerator 2024. This level of industry backing really underscores that offline, self-hosted AI interfaces are becoming a critical component of the future technology stack.
By putting the power of advanced, extensible AI entirely offline and right into your own hands, and completely removing those barriers of cloud dependency and data privacy concerns, we're left with one vital question to consider as we wrap up this explainer. With complete control and total privacy over your data, what will your local AI build tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive through the Open WebUI documentation. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.